Hello, and welcome to Conversations with the Chancellor. There's a lot of discussion in the country today about education, the cost, the value, and the future role of universities. With me today to discuss these issues is CU Boulder alum, Congressman Joe Neguse. Congressman Neguse earned both his undergraduate and law degrees at CU. He served as student government president and is a former member of the Board of Regents. Congressman, welcome.
It's great to be back. Thank you, Chancellor, for having me.
Our pleasure. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your background?
Yeah, so I grew up in Colorado, spent almost my whole life here, grew up in Highlands Ranch, Littleton. Went to CU Boulder, as you mentioned, for my undergraduate degree, and then worked for about a year at the state capitol, a little less, for the Speaker of the House. And then from there, I went to law school here at CU, so a double buff, which I'm very proud of. And after I graduated from law school, I practiced law for a number of years at a Denver firm, and then finally had an opportunity to serve in the governor's cabinet. Governor Hickenlooper appointed me back in 2015 to run our state's consumer protection department. And then from there, ran for Congress and got elected last year. So I've been serving since January of this year.
That's great, and the university is so proud of you and your accomplishments. You know, one of my strategic imperatives is to shape tomorrow's leaders. Could you talk a little bit about how CU shaped you as a leader?
Very much so. I mean, the university had a great deal of impact in terms of my success and my ability to be able to serve in public office. And it starts probably with my experiences when I was an undergraduate in student government. It gave me the chance at a very young age to get a sense of what self-governance looks like and ways in which we could be impactful and have an impact in a tangible way on students' lives, working and building a team.
What do you think is the biggest issue facing higher education today?
I would say, just baseline, I've always believed that higher education is a public good. And I think about what public higher education has done for my family. I'm, as you know, Phil, the son of immigrants, and so my parents came here with very little, but thanks to the incredible freedoms and the opportunities that we have in the United States, they were able to make it and to live the American dream. From my perspective, we ought to do everything we can to make sure that dream is accessible to everybody in this country, so that more people can have the experiences that I did at the University of Colorado, and so many other students who come through these doors are able to have. Absolutely.
And there's, as you said, a lot of discussion about the cost of higher education today and the value on it. And how as a nation should we be dealing with the high cost of higher education, given all of the benefits that you mentioned one gets out of being a college graduate?
I think we have to be prepared as a community, as a locality, a municipality, a county, a state, a country, as a society, to make the appropriate investments. I think at the federal level, there's more that we could do. We're pushing, and I certainly am an advocate for increasing Pell Grant funding by way of example. But then also at the state level, we've got to be willing to make the appropriate investments, and I just think we've not done that. Obviously, as you know, right. Colorado has been, it's historically, the funding level for our universities has been very low. That is starting to change, and I'm very grateful for that. Also, I would say we're going to need institutions to show leadership. And, you all, I'd be curious if you could share a little bit about
Sure.
what you've done recently, because it's something that I was an advocate for many years when I was on the Board of Regents, and it has finally come to fruition, which I'm very excited about.
So, one of the things that we're doing is guaranteed tuition for our resident undergraduates. So the way it works is a freshman comes in and pays tuition and fees that do not go up at all for 4 years. So for 4 years, that student will pay the same tuition. The other thing that we did, and you'll probably remember how we used to do course and program fees. We eliminated that 2 years ago, and it saves students close to $10 million. And so we actually, this past year, saw tuition and fees drop for students.
Wow.
And that was a decision that I didn't make, but our deans made. And I was very proud of them to take that initiative. The other, again, that you might remember is we started a program called Esteem Scholars. We want to keep the best students in the state. We want them to go to the University of Colorado so that they can give back to the state, so that they can become productive citizens and add to the economy. And right now, we have about 21% of our undergraduates who are Esteem Scholars. And these are in the top 5%.
About 1/5, that's an incredible number.
Exactly. It's very, very encouraging that we're keeping the best students in state. I think we're doing an incredible job of keeping tuition low and making sure that our students graduate in 4 years.
The fact that you're able to make the promise about the guarantee, particularly in a time of such great economic uncertainty, the fact that families have certainty with respect to that
Exactly.
piece of the funding makes a lot of sense.
So with the changes in society, technology, access to information, dropout billionaire CEOs, why is higher education still important?
It's a good question. I'm not a billionaire, as you know, Phil, so maybe I'm the wrong person to ask. But my sense of it is this: there are so many residual benefits that come from public higher education in terms of the impact it has on, individuals' lives and their families, and climbing up the economic ladder. It's the one ticket to upward economic mobility, in my view. But also, the benefits it has to society writ at large, the technological advances, the patents that come out of institutions like the University of Colorado. And I think if you ask most folks who have had the opportunity that I've had to get a 4-year degree or also to potentially go to graduate school, that they would, generally speaking, say the same thing.
That's great. And I hope your 1-year-old daughter will also become a buff.
Well, we represent CU and CSU, so I'm not going to.
Okay, well, we'll wait and see how that goes.
My wife wants her to go to CU, so we'll.
Congressman, I really want to thank you for all that you've done. I look forward to watching your career move forward and look forward to working with you this year.
Well, thank you, Chancellor, for your leadership over these many years on this campus, and I hope you'll relay my gratitude to the many deans and faculty members and instructors and so many others who I think are having a profound impact on countless students each and every day, and excited to partner with you all in those efforts.
Thank you all for watching, and go Buffs.